This world is full of imperfections. If this world was perfect, what was the point of creating Jannatul Firdaus? My brothers and sisters, don't be deceived by this world.
Listen carefully. Allah is about to give you and I the definition of success now. فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ. Therefore, whoever is pushed away from the hellfire, وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةِ, and given access to paradise, فَقَدْ فَازَ. That person has succeeded. According to Allah Almighty, that is your definition of success. وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. Allah says, and what is the life of this world other than the joys of deception? What does that mean? It essentially means that every worldly success today that does not lead me to paradise and push me away from the hellfire, then this is not success, this is failure, even if people call it success.
If you're a Muslim and you want to become successful, do not fall into the trap of the Western world's mentality of chasing money, chasing cars, chasing houses and bigger houses, because it will never be enough. That is a slave-like minded mentality. You're being a slave to the material world. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will free you from it. Because He said subhanahu wa ta'ala that if you worship me, only become a slave to me, I will take care of every business and need of this worldly life called Dunyaah. And it is true. Once we see people who put prayer first and put God first, has everything taken care of. The academic side, the financial side. And don't worry, sometimes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes people poor because that is the only way they're going to be close to Him. And others, they make them rich because that is the only way they're going to be close to Him.
They're just mad at you, but they can't do nothing about it because you're a builder. And you're a builder because you begin to build your way up out of stuff, work your way out of stuff when nobody supported you, when nobody gave you a handout. In fact, the support you thought you should have got, you never got. People laughed at you, even in your own family, in your own bloodline. They did not even respect you. But God is showing the world, like David, like Joseph, this is what it looks like when you take the little and make something big out of it. See, you were faithful in the back. You're going to be faithful in the front. You were faithful when other folk weren't faithful to you. You were nice to people when they were nasty to you. And I'm telling you, this is a moment by where you got to shine. And you got to let your voice be heard. You can't be afraid of your gift to be displayed because nobody has walked in your shoes and they don't know what you've been through.
Brothers and sisters, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, when it came to tests and trials, he never once promised any person in the ummah that they will never go through them. He never once told us that by being Muslim, you are now free from all difficulties in life. This was never a guarantee. And so we should never think to ourselves when we're being put through this, whether on a micro or macro level, why us? But the Prophet ﷺ said something very powerful when he said, عَجَبًا لِأَمْرِ الْمُؤْمِنِ. How amazing are the situations of the believer. That what? أَمْرُهُ كُلُّهُ خَيْرٌ. That every single situation, كُلُّهُ لَهُ خَيْرٌ. It's the best situation for this person. وَلَيْسَ ذَلِكَ لِأَحَدٍ إِلَّا الْمُؤْمِنِ. And it's not the case for anybody except for someone who has belief. That your iman makes you see the world constantly in a way that is progressive and optimistic. How? He says, إِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ صَرَّاء شَكَرَ فَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُ. If good things happen, if Allah tests this person with good, because good can also be a test, you can forget about everybody else. When Allah gives you the wealth, when Allah gives you the health, when Allah gives you what you ask for, you can forget about everybody else. But they remember Allah, then He says, this is good for them. وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ ضَرَّاءُ صَبَرَ فَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُ. And when they are tested and they are tried with this difficulty, that they are patient and this is what's best for them.
I see so many people trapped because they're trying to keep it real. When I was growing up, everybody around me, all the peers around me was like, keep it real, dog. You know what keeping it real got me? It kept me in an environment that didn't want to see me grow, didn't want to see me become a better person. And so you end up trying to fit in. You know, they laugh at people in the hood that are smart. They call them nerds. They laugh at you for being smart. And so what I did is I forgot about where I came from. I know where I come from. I know what city I come from, but it doesn't mean that's where I have to hang out for the rest of my life. I'm evolving. The world is big. And I see so many good people get trapped in this mindset of thinking that they always have to hang around the place where they come from. You don't have to do that. And people don't like when I tell them I'm self-made. They're like, oh, somebody had to help you out. And I say, yeah, People presented me with opportunities, but I had to be equipped to deal with those opportunities when they came to me, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I could have dropped the ball. See, people want to take credit for your success, but nobody will take credit for your failure. And this is what I'm encouraging everyone to do right now. Ask yourself, whose life am I living? When I turned 27, I asked myself, whose life am I living? And I realized I was living a life based on what I thought other people wanted me to live. And that is no life for a man that's constantly evolving. So I encourage you to break free from the institution of obligation and give no one authority over your own mind.
Is that a lot of these guys coming up, a lot of these younger guys coming up don't have any idea what it's like to be a leader, and that women look at them to lead, and that everybody looks at them to lead, right? This society doesn't raise leaders anymore, right? And it's apparent in questions like that. You know, the reason that you have to make the first move, because that's what bosses do. Bosses make the first move. Bosses lead. Bosses take initiative. Bosses, players, leaders, you know, captains, kings, emperors, or whatever you want to call it, they take initiative. You know, if something needs to be done, they get the ball rolling. You see what I'm saying? They make things happen. They make shit shake. A lot of young men don't have that in them, and that shows again in the things that they ask me, and it shows in their life. You see what I'm saying? A lot of young men today are on the internet complaining about this, complaining about that. They don't have their life together. They can't figure out how to get their money together.
I don't think you should be thinking about people around you at all. I don't think that should be your the cause for your focus. In fact, if you do feel like you're thinking too much about the people around you and that people are staring at me and that's too much of a concern, take a second to maybe, you know, really focus inward and remember that everybody's going to come and go in life. Everybody's going to die. Kullu man alayha fan, as Allah Ta'ala says, that, you know, all these people are going to come and go and end up in the dirt anyhow. The last thing you want to be thinking about is, oh, who's watching me? What are they thinking? And are they impressed with me? Am I serious enough? This isn't what you want to be thinking. You want to actually do the opposite and say to yourself, who cares if the whole world loves me or hates me? At the end of the day, they're not going to control my eternity, my afterlife. Well, the only one that matters is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Get yourself on track, focus on what you're supposed to be focusing on, focus on your salah, falling into ruku', falling into sujood, humbling yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what matters.
This world is temporary. It will be full of challenges from the beginning. When you came on earth, the first thing you did was you were crying. What does that mean? In fact, when you die, you will die smiling. When you came, you were crying. It already shows you this world is all about crying. You know, meaning things are going to go wrong. Allah's kept a cavity in your belly in order for you to fill. And when Allah kept that cavity, even shaitan knew that this man here is going to have to do things in order to keep that belly full on a daily basis. And for that reason, I'll be able to influence him by making false promises to him. And Allah makes the true promise. Whose promise are we going to follow? May Allah make it easy for all of us.